welcome. Welcome to this amazing Tuesday. I am so excited to be here. I can't help it but smile. I feel so good. I don't know who's coming with so much energy. It's rubbing off on me right now. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. I love the energy. I can feel it. So please express it in the chat section. Say hi. Give me those dancing emojis, those fire emojis. Tell me how your day was. Tell me about the good news that you had today. Tell me about the good news that you had today. Tell me about your day. Your day, how was it? How was it? Tell me about your day. It's good to see every one of you. And it's so nice to get to see most of you coming in physically at the office. It's always a joy to see people beyond Zoom. It's always a joy to see people beyond Zoom. Am I loud and clear? Am I loud and clear? All right, let me make sure everything's plugged in. Okay, awesome. All right, let me see who's in. I can see Ezzy. Good to see you, man of God, my brother, South Africa. Good to see you, Cynthia. Lukundo. Lukundo, I didn't see you on Saturday, did I? Where were you? I was looking forward to seeing you. Ada, good to see you. Judith, good to see you. Jessica, Nomaswazi, Jacob, Margaret. Oh, Lukundo came, did she? Oh, which Lukundo? We have two. I think the one who's on right now is Siame Mwansa. I think it was Lukundo Sonia who was there. All right, let's see. We're 30 now. Right, great number. I'll just give it like 2 more minutes to allow other people to join. And at exactly 20:05, we will get flying. All right, who else is in the room? Who hasn't said hi? Let's see. Yvonne, Mr. Thompson, Tekwi, Sandra, Phyllis. It was so good to see you. Always bubbly, always full of joy. It was good to hear your testimony and your experience ever since you joined PLD. Dr. Nelly is in the room. Good to see you, Dr. Nelly. Mwansa P. Gold, all the way from the United States of America. Thank you for joining in. Mutale, it was good to see you on Saturday. Quena, I have missed you, Quena. I think I haven't responded to your message. I need to give you a call. Such a lovely mother, so energetic. I miss you. Can't wait to see you in the boot camp next month. Hey, my brother Joshua, Josh is in the building. Dr. J, awesome. Such a lovely family in tonight. All right, brand presentation Tuesday. I'm excited today, and I hope you are too. I'm going to share something interesting, and I hope that this builds your momentum for what we discussed and what we had last week on Saturday for those that came through and those that tuned in via Zoom. I hope after today's session, you are going to move from the parking lot to the driveway. A lot of you are still parked, right? From the time you joined PLD, it's like that guy who bought his nice new Mercedes-Benz, but it's still parked in the garage. It's still there. And all you keep doing is opening your curtains and be like, wow, I have such a beautiful car. That's what most of you are doing. Well, that's what most of us, let me put myself in the equation. That's what most of us have done. From the time we joined the mentorship program, from the time that some of you did the courses, you've had your one-on-one sessions, it's like you bought a new car and you were so excited. The joy, the enthusiasm was amazing. But you know what you've done? You've just kept that wonderful Mercedes-Benz in the garage. And all you keep doing is peeping at them like, Chai, I've got a nice car. You keep calling your friends, I've got a nice car, I've got a nice car. But you know what? The purpose of your beautiful car is not to have it parked in the garage and admired every day. The purpose of your beautiful car is to drive it out, to use it to its full capacity, right? You can have a beautiful Mercedes-Benz that goes all the way to 260, 280, 320 on the dashboard. But as long as you don't drive it, you will never know its full capacity. You never know its potential. You can have and read about it, how the braking system is good. You can read about how the seats are so comfortable. You can have all that and it will be parked in the garage. As long as you never drive it, you will never know the feel of what the manual says about the car. And so many of us have done the same thing with our purpose. After self-discovery, you realize, my goodness, I can talk, I can do this, I can do that. And that's all you've ended. And every day you wake up, you keep looking at the pictures of your car, you keep looking at your potential, you look in the mirror, you look at your potential and say, wow, I'm so handsome, I'm so beautiful, I've got these talents and these gifts, and then you go back to sleep. And you wake up the next morning, you keep doing the same thing. But you are doing injustice to yourself, okay? Some of us have been working with Dr. Nelly for the last two plus years. And we even had the opportunity to get awarded at the United Nations in March with amazing awards. But what have you been doing since then? All the 2 years you've accumulated all the information that you have, the knowledge, the experience, every realization, every revelation that you've received from the time that you came into this atmosphere. What have you done from that time? I gotta ask you that. What have you done from that time? And I want to see some responses. What have you done? What have you done from the time that whether you came through boot camp, whether you attended the self-discovery course, you did your life coaching, even if you just attended a session on a Thursday morning, and you found out talking about the 4 Ds, define yourself, describe yourself, and all those. What have you done since you got that information? What have you done? Have you taken a step forward? Have you started building your life? Now, let me say this. I always wanted to do architecture, right? Because I love drawing. And it's amazing. Being an architect in architecture is an amazing subject. I did technical drawing and geometrical drawing in high school. So it's the ability to put your vision onto paper so that it can be seen with physical eyes. But you know that even if you envision an amazing house and you draw it on paper and you describe it to its best definition on paper, you can't live in that house physically. So I could envision a mansion and draw it on paper, but the guy who's laying the blocks for his one-roomed house is in a way better position than I am. Come on, do you get that? So you can have all these amazing plans and this amazing dream, and you've laid it on paper, and it's wow, it's fantastic. It's a whole mansion, and you've described it to its length. You've even put a swimming pool on the outside and the whole garage port on the other end. But the guy who's laid the blocks for his one-roomed house, when the rain comes, you won't be able to live in your mansion that you've drawn on paper, but he's going to be able to live in his one-roomed house and be sheltered from the rains. So what have you been doing from the time that you came in contact with this knowledge, with this mentor, with this program? What have you been doing? Right? What have you been doing? I could ask that question and call it a night, because that's enough to get you thinking right now. That's enough to get you thinking right now. We could close the session right now. And just that question of what have you been doing since you came in contact with this program, with your mentor, with the information, what have you been doing? Come on, am I talking to somebody? Are you here? All right, I'm loving the responses here. Mwansa says, attended the conference in April via Zoom. Short as it was, here I am and looking forward to the next 10 years. All right, she's new, all right, and she started off with so much fire, and I love the energy. I love the energy. She missed out classes last week, but she's been calling and saying, I need to catch up, and I'm like, okay, I'm busy, but at least that's that risk that you can respond to somebody that's eager like that, right? Katongo says, yes, coach, I've started building my brand and my vision. However, I need to accelerate my speed in building this vision. I love that. Let's get some speed. Let's get up some speed. Phyllis says, I've started researching on my capsuling machines and the tea bagging one. It's all about herbal and living healthy for me. I love that energy, Phyllis. Let's go on. Let's go on. Anita says, I'm still new here. I'm here to learn, sir. All right. Welcome, Anita. Welcome. All right. So what have you been doing? All right. That's the question. So let me kick off with my presentation today. I'll give a couple of announcements at the end. All right. Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, please just let me know that yes, 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 yes. Awesome. Awesome. I want to see more people responding. I think we've gone up to 45 participants, 47 now. But I would love to see more people responding. So just give me 30 minutes of your time and we're going to fly. All right. So tonight we're going to start talking about building your brand. Okay. And I'll try and be as practical as possible. I put together some slides. So I do hope that you pay as much attention as you can. And we're only going to do part 1 today. And then for the rest of June, I'm going to help you get structured. All right. And then we are going to resume our brand presentation as a team from July all the way to December. And we're going to release the rota. Okay. And so I want you to know that the reason why I'm taking you through these classes over the next 2 Tuesdays, or I think we only have 1 till the month end. So it's only, I have to do what I can to then and finish next week. The reason I'm doing this is because from the first Tuesday of July, brand presentation is going to be streamed live on Facebook. Okay. Your brand presentation is going to be streamlined on Facebook. And there's a way that we're going to do it that's going to allow every participant that's presenting on that day to showcase their brand to the Facebook world. And that's in particular Dr. Nelly's page. She has over 16,000 followers, now almost getting to 17K. And I'm hoping, we're really pushing to get the numbers to over 100K by the end of the year. So we're doing a lot of activities on the page. And we're going to ride on that wave. So she's giving us an opportunity to be able to present our brands using her brand. Okay. But then we can't just show up on her page with over 16,000 people and different people following her from the political space to the international world. And you come on your presentation looking like you're presenting at a nursery school. So I'm going to be helping you structure. So today we're going to do part 1 so that when you start your presentations, they must be as excellent and as professional as possible, because you have no idea the opportunities that can come your way from being able to present on her platform. Okay. I thought people would be clapping and excited for such an opportunity. Ah, oh my goodness. You have no idea. Oh my goodness. So we can't have Dwanzi profiles, we can't have Dwanzi presentations now. So we're taking it up another notch. I think the scorpions are starting to come out now. So you have to be ready. You have to be ready. No more parking your cars in the garage. It's time to step out, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to step out. The world and time don't wait for nobody. Okay. I posted something the other day on my page. I said, and Doc is one who said it on Saturday, and I posted it on my page. She said, even if you cry, while you are sad, the world is still moving. You can be sad right now. Your friend will be signing $1 million check on the other end. So the world doesn't stop because you're going through your problems. So the best you can do is quickly cry in your space, cry in your room, cry in your bathroom. But the moment you have a chance to be on a platform like you are right now, and like you be on Dr. Nelly's page, listen, it's time to boss up, clean your face, powder yourself, learn how to brand yourself, learn how to talk, go up, and show off, right? That's the next step we're in now. Okay, so it's time to push. All right, so today we're talking about building your brand, and we're going to be talking about brand identity. All right, so allow me to peruse through a couple of slides just to share with you a couple of my thoughts. I think I don't need an introduction. My name is Coach David, your self-discovery coach, your life coach, and your creative director. I'm a personal brand strategist. So I have somewhat some information that is valuable that will help you today, talking about branding. Okay, so as we get going, let's quickly read a definition of what branding is. All right, what is branding? Okay, let's talk about a brand. A brand is a personality crafted to connect with audience in a specific way. Okay, so that's what a brand is. So what is branding? Branding is the process of creating a mark. Okay, it's the process of creating a mark. And the reason why you create that mark is so that you create an identity of ownership. Okay, because what cannot be identified cannot be owned. Okay, and what is owned is what will be appreciated, because when you own something, that's when you know its true value. Okay, so branding is the process of creating a mark. It's the process of creating a mark. Every time I think of it, I remember those old movies we used to watch growing up. Now I think I'm old enough to say, you know, back then when I was young, you know, so growing up, you'd watch those movies of cowboys and cattle. And when someone had a ranch, and I think it happens for people that grew up in the village. I'm a town boy. I grew up in the wonderful city of Lusaka. I don't know what village life was like. But for those that have it, you know that when someone owns a cow, they'll get a hot steel iron that has been shaped either by a letter or some form of logo, and they would stick that iron into the thigh, the back of the cow, so that at any point, if that cow went missing and it was found in the mix of another person's cows, they were able to identify it. Okay, or perhaps if someone stole the cow and you found them walking around with one cow, and you'd ask them, where did you get that cow? If they say it's mine, all you have to look for is look for a mark. And that's what is known as branding. So it's the process of creating a mark. Okay, it's the process of creating a distinct identity for a business in the mind of your target audience and consumers. So the reason why you're creating this mark is so that your audience, your consumers can know you, and therefore they can feed from you, they can benefit from you. So it's safe to say that if you are not branded, you cannot be identified. And if you cannot be identified, you cannot be valued, right? And if you cannot be valued, there is no fulfillment. So your fulfillment is drawn out of the value that you bring. And that value can only be appreciated when you are branded, when you are able to be identified. Come on, am I talking to somebody? Okay, so that's in a nutshell what branding is all about. It's the process of creating a mark. Okay, so when we talk about identifying your brand, now for ever since I got into the space of branding, when I realized it was my inherent gift and skill, every time I try to sit down with a lot of you and a lot of people, and when we discuss branding, everyone always seems to rush quickly to wanting to be known. Okay, they want to be known quickly. They want in a short space of time to be as big as Dr. Nelly. They want to be in a short space of time to make as much impact as maybe people like Dr. Mujajati or any other person that you may think of when I ask you which brand inspires you. Okay, but before we can discuss the colors, logos, and graphics and marketing strategies of branding, we need to identify with what really is the essence of all those things. What gives life to the colors, to the logos, to the graphics, to the marketing strategies, to being known out there? What gives those things life? And the first two words that pop up in my mind are problem and need. So before you start talking about being known out there, the question is, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for? And you see, because a lot of people can't answer this question, they find themselves getting to do crazy things just to want to be known out there. And I know if you spend time on social media, you know what kind of a crazy world we live in now. young ladies, young men, individuals will do all sorts of things just to want to be known. And we are calling that a brand. But that's a brand in the wrong sense, because the true essence of a brand is, number one, what problem is your brand coming to sort out? Question number one. What problem are you coming to sort out? The other question is, what need is your brand coming to meet? Because the fulfillment and the value of your brand is not just in being known, because you can do anything to be known. You can do anything to be famous, right? You can do almost anything to want to feel valued. But that doesn't last, because is it sorting out any problem? Is it meeting any need? Every brand that has stood the test of time today is because they identified a problem that they needed to sort out. And they identified a need that they needed to meet. So you as an individual, we're going to talk about personal and business branding in a few slides. But I want this to come to sink in you now. This question: what problem am I sorting out? What need am I meeting? You want to be valued? You want to be known? You want to feel fulfilled? What problem are you sorting out? What need are you meeting? Because it is these two things that draw people to you. It is these two things that make us interdependent, even as human beings. You didn't know that. The only reason you know the person that you know is based on the need that they came to meet, or the problem they came to solve in your life, or the problem you came to solve in their lives. So even from a personal perspective, before we step out, like I said, into the branding world of graphic designing, marketing, and logos and colors and whatever, it all starts from this thing of problem solving and need meeting. So what need are you meeting? What problem are you solving? I hope these questions are ringing in your mind. Why am I asking this? Because your problem is your opportunity. Your problem is your opportunity. Now, a problem is not the first thing that you'd obviously want to hear, because when you join the mentorship program like this, when you came to PLD, the first thing you're thinking about is solutions. But no. We take you back to your problems. Because your problem is your opportunity, right? If you are like Moses, who ran away from Egypt to go into the desert, and you're looking for a solution, you're going to find a God who's going to take you back to Egypt. Because Moses didn't know that there was a reason why he was born in the Egypt that he ran away from. So running away from that Egypt was not the solution. Because when he encountered God, God didn't say, okay, now Moses, you've come, let's forget about Egypt, let's start a new family together here in the wilderness. No, God said there was a reason why you were born in Egypt. So listen what you're going to do. You're going to go back all the way to Egypt, right? Why? Because it is in your problem where opportunity lies. So for most of you that signed up, and I say this because I came like you signed up because of your problems. But let me tell you something. I'm here to point you back to those problems, because those problems are your actual opportunities, right? So many times we look at problems as disadvantages, but in actual sense, that's where our opportunity lies. Every external crisis in your life is nothing but an opportunity, all right? Every external crisis in your life right now that you're thinking of, it's not a problem, it's an opportunity. So that marriage that you think is a problem, your failing business, your lack of finances, and lack of a job, that's not your problem. That's not even a problem. It is an opportunity. Okay? But coach, I still feel overwhelmed. I still feel like, yeah, let me tell you why. Because the real problem in life is you. So I want you to type in the chat section, I am the problem. Come on, I want you to type it now. Type it, I am the problem. There is nothing external that will ever be a problem. All right. So nothing outside of you is the problem. It's never, there will never be. You, if there's a problem right now, it's you who is the problem. You are the problem. No, I'm single, I can't get married. Listen, it's not those people that, it's not the lack of suitors that you have in your life that is the problem. No, it's you. Yeah, in church you obviously wouldn't want such a confession, but don't worry, we're gonna balance it out very soon. But I need you, for the sooner you realize this and accept it, it's the faster you start making a change and experiencing a change in your life. Okay, the sooner you accept it and realize it, the faster you start making a change in your life. Because to somebody it may feel heavy, but let me tell you something. In actual sense, understanding first that you are the problem is the solution, because the only one who can change you is you. Okay, so understanding this statement should actually make you very happy, because it lets you know that I can change me. If I'm the problem, then I can change me. Because if you're going to be complaining about your spouse and your spouse does all these crazy things, let me tell you something, you can't change them. So settling on the fact that they are the problem will never help you in any way. But when you accept you are the problem, then it lets you know that you are the only one who's in proximity to change you. So your failing business, your lack of customers, and the government, and your lack of finances, if you keep externalizing the problem, then what you have done is you've accepted failure. Because you can never change anybody outside you of you. They have their own free will, they have their own choices, right? So you can never change them. So when you make them the problem, what you have done is you've locked yourself. You've put yourself in a barrier, in a cage, in a prison. And you constantly live at a place where you want them to change, but they may, will, and possibly can never change. But once you accept that you are the problem, responsibility is taken on you. And now the process of solution is highly more likely to begin, because you are the only one that can change you. This is why, for my Christian brothers and sisters, even the wonderful gift of salvation, God still waits on you, on your response. Jesus died 2,000 years ago. But he's still waiting on you to respond to his solution, because you are and were the problem. So he says it is you to come, you accept you're the problem, and then change begins. So even in your relationship with God, God can only change you when you first accept you're the problem. As long as you do not see that you were a man full of sin that was in need of a savior, you can never accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Because you are not a problem. You can't identify sin. But the moment you say, oh my goodness, I'm a sinner, I need God in my life, you know what happens? Then Jesus says, all right, let's do this thing together. So you are the problem first. And your problem is not necessarily to say that you are a bad person or that there's anything wrong with you. No. Okay, the problem is what we call misidentity. All right, now I'm dealing with the foundation of branding, because this is always the problem. So I may not sound very businessy right now, but we're going to get there. But let's deal with the foundation. Okay, a mango seed will never struggle to produce mangoes or mango leaves, right? So when you look at mango leaves and you look at the mango fruit, it's because it came from a mango seed. So in relation to branding, when you start talking about colors, logos, marketing, and people coming to feed from you and benefiting from your brand, as long as you understand your seed, your identity, all those things will come very seamless, and they'll be very easy to get on. Because a mango seed will never struggle to produce mangoes. You won't plant a mango seed and say, you know, maybe there will be apples tomorrow. No, then there's some serious witchcraft going on over there. But once you know you plant a mango seed, you know for a fact that the fruit that you're expecting is a mango fruit. And it's mango leaves that you will see when the tree begins to grow. You will go to sleep. All you just be doing is watering it and whatever. Okay. So everything else that we talk about in terms of branding externally is never a problem when we identify or deal with the issue of identity. So your problem is not that there is nothing of value with you. The problem is your misidentity. Your misidentity. Okay. So this is why we begin off with our mentorship program when you join Project Life Design. Okay. Why? Because mentorship is designed to help you get established in your identity. This is where successful brands emerge from. Oh my goodness. All successful brands are born from a place of understanding and getting established in identity. Because once identity is known, even your market will be known, your value will be known, the price tag you place on yourself will be known. You have no problem with people who walk into your life and can't pay the price. When they walk out, you won't say, oh, they are not buying me. No, it's because you will know that they cannot afford you. Come on, I think I'm talking to somebody right now. No, dog, please, I'm not getting married. In relationships keep failing. You know, the problem is not the suitors, it's not the guy. The problem is you, misidentity. You don't know your value. So even there's no price tag on you. So some guys just know they can come on, wear you and walk out, try you on and walk out, wear you and take you back to the store, right? But when you understand identity, then you understand value, then you know your price. I recently heard, I don't know, for most people that love Louis Vuitton, I recently heard that Louis Vuitton hasn't started shipping their goods to Africa yet. So I'm wondering what we wear in Africa. So please go look in your wardrobe and look at that Louis Vuitton bag and just know that, yes, well, so Louis Vuitton understands their value. So they are not like Chinese who keep rushing their products into Africa because they understand their value. And I'm told that all their brands, I don't know if it's annually or monthly, whatever is not sold is burnt, because they never want to sell their items for any lesser price than their actual value. So they would rather burn them than sell them cheaply. You know where that boldness comes from? It comes from a place of understanding identity. If you don't know your identity, you allow people to walk all over you. And that's why you keep thinking that the problem is external. There's a certain sense of confidence, boldness, seriousness that you take on yourself when you understand your identity and your value. So before you can sort out your problems from without, you need to sort out the problems from within. Okay, so that is why when you sign up for the 5 weeks course, all right, these are the 4 pillars of our mentorship program. Number 1 is self-discovery and self-development. Okay. When you get your one-on-one appointment and you pour out to your mentor, which I advise and I encourage you to do so. But a true mentor will never just want to sit down and hear your problems over and over and over again. What they'll do is they'll want to place you into a place where you understand your value. And so this is why for us, by all means, especially if you're just coming in for the very first time and you want some form of personal work with Dr. Nelly and the PLD organization, the first thing we'll fuse into you is our journey for 5 weeks. Go through self-discovery, because sometimes you discover that it's only because you didn't know yourself, and that is why that problem seemed like a problem. All right. Number 2, you realize that you didn't begin the journey of self-development, because that's another thing. It's one thing to discover yourself, but it's another thing to begin to develop yourself. Like I said in the beginning, some of you are like, you bought that brand new Mercedes-Benz and then you parked it in your garage, and then you just keep admiring it every day. But then you keep walking to work. And when you ask what's going on, no, I don't have transport. You don't have transport, but you just bought a new Mercedes-Benz. Have you started using it? So from the moment you discovered your skill, your talent, your gift, have you started developing it? Okay. So for example, somebody that was going through a financial crisis and joined the mentorship program, you had your one-on-one session. But then after going the first class of self-discovery, you discovered you had a talent. All right. Agnes, is that a hand? Do you want to ask a question? Okay. I assume that was a mistake. All right. I'll leave a few minutes for questions towards the end. Right. So you discovered yourself and you discovered, okay, I have a talent. I'm a tailor. I can sew. I can make some good food, or I'm into media, or I can talk. All right. What's the next step? Identifying the brand is not enough. Discovering yourself is not enough. You got to start developing yourself. Improve your skill. Get better at it, right? Train at it. Get into some professional development courses. When you do that, then only can people start identifying your brand, and then only it become valuable for you to start receiving money. So we take you through the first self-discovery, self-development, then we get to career enhancement, business development, and life mastery, which you understand what each of them are. And I'll talk about the next two before we close. And then we'll talk about life mastery in the last week of this mentorship program, the June cohort, right? But that's the issue with branding. Get out of the place of misidentity. Discover yourself. Begin working in your identity. Okay. And it's not a one-time thing. Okay. So for those of you that are in the 5 weeks program, and those that have been in from January to now, okay, you jump into the network. The network now is not a place for you to ask what next. It's now us. It's now your mentor. It's now us, the POD team, to now ask you, okay, so now what next with you now? Because some of you jumped into the network and you've been in and you've had this waiting look, like we don't know what's happening next. Yet every Tuesday there's brand presentation. Every Thursday there's prosperity for your soul. Sometimes on Wednesdays we share with you the links for you to just refresh your mind. We have the NLP classes, the NLP courses. Some of you even had the privilege to get awarded in March, but you still want to ask what next. Hey, come on. It's us asking you now, what next? Okay, you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what next? What are you doing? Because what this process does, this 5 weeks, is that it makes you realize that the power is with you now. It makes you realize that the problem is not external, it's internal. And by the end of the 5 weeks, would have helped you sort out your internal problems. So now, after everything is sorted, what next? What are you doing? What are you doing? Because if you are not doing anything, what's going to happen is that those weeds will begin to grow back in your life. And if you're honest, if you're like me, the moment you sort of slacken with the process of developing yourself and growing your brand, do you realize that those things that bothered you, that stopped bothering you, start bothering you again? Come on, can I have a witness in the house? I've been there. Each time that I slacken with my development, my personal development, and working on my brand, it's like those things that used to bother me start creeping back up. The things that used to irritate me and make me feel some type of way, they start creeping back up. Oh, I'm alone. Oh, okay. I thought I was going to have a witness in the house. I know I can have more. I know I can have more witnesses here, right? No, please, I don't want an amen. It's not an amen. We're not in church now. I know I quoted scripture, but we're not, it's not an amen time, you know, because, you know, Christians, we love the amen and then we still settle back because we feel like when we say amen, we've handed over responsibility to God. No, say, I agree, coach. You're right. It's true. It's true, coach. It's true. I don't want an amen. I want you are that way. That way, what's happening is that your mind is those things are coming back to you. You're like, yeah. When you go back to it's true. So don't slacken on your personal development, okay? And so today, next week, I'll push you. I'll help you create structure. All right. So let's go. Let's now break down into what a personal brand is, okay? So that I begin to help some of you with a bit of direction. Okay. What is a personal brand? A personal brand is a culmination of the experiences, skills, and values that differentiate you. Okay. And I think from what I explained on branding, you understand that statement. But let me help you understand with this other phrase. A personal brand is a business, all right? And I want you to take note of that. A personal brand, because this should change your thinking from today. A personal brand is a business, okay? It's a business. It's a business, okay? Now, I might be confusing because I know you heard me say we're going to talk about personal and business branding, okay? But watch this. A personal brand is a business that thrives solely on the identity, skills, interests of an individual. Essentially, every business starts off this way. So personal brands are also business brands that have chosen to continue thriving on the personality of an individual. Okay, so an example of a personal brand. Almost every artist, in terms of singer, rapper, artist, is a personal brand. Okay, but the issue is that you need to know that that personal brand is also a business, because some of you think a personal brand is just, it's me talking about you. Yes, it's you, but have you turned your skills, your identity, your interests as an individual into a business? All right. In other words, your name, and by your name, I mean your qualities, your characters. Have you reeled out a skill, an ability that is a solution that can meet needs? You then structure it to be a service. That's what a personal brand is. Ah, Chai, this is some valuable information. You know, when I was typing this out, I was like, hey, this is some good information. This is some good information. I was coaching myself when I was preparing this. So when you look at artists, what artist comes to your mind? All right, please, I know you're Christians, but you feel free to mention even those worldly artists you like thinking of, because I know very few gospel artists count themselves as businesses. All right, but here we're not here to deal with churchy matters. We're talking about business and making money. Okay, Jessica says Ephraim. I actually like Ephraim and Pompey. Yes, I've had a chat with people like Pompey. I once got in touch with him for to get him to come and sing at an event years back, and the way he structured himself, and I said, this is a personal brand. A personal brand is also a business brand. So don't just think of a personal brand as just presence on social media. No, you need to now structure it in a way that your quality, your characters, you can pull out a skill and an ability that can meet other people's needs, that you can now structure to create a service. That's when money will come out of it. Okay, so a personal brand, I say this again, it's a business that thrives solely on the identity, skills, interests of an individual. That's what it is. So it's about you, the individual. But it's not about you in terms of your problems. It's about you in terms of what are you bringing out of you that is a service to mankind that people can pay for. Okay? Is that clear? Now, you think of artists, yes, but do you know that you can also, with you yourself, you can be a personal brand. Actually, every business, even every corporate business that you can think of, it started off from a personal brand. Okay, but I'll kind of teach you how to identify the two, so that you can also know which direction you need to take in after this course of your 5 weeks. So right now, if I say the word Microsoft, what name comes to mind? Bill Gates. Okay, I don't even have to wait for anybody to type out. It's Bill Gates, Microsoft. Why? Because even every corporate and business brand started off with as a personal brand. Okay, but when you think about Bill Gates and Microsoft, Microsoft does not thrive on the identity of Bill Gates. So this takes me to my next point. So I hope I'm clear on what a personal brand is. Okay, so let's go look at what a business brand is. Okay, so in this context, a business brand is a business brand is a business that is identified by corporate governance. The face of the company is its systems, practices, and values that control it. So when you think about Microsoft, of course you think of Bill Gates, because that's the genesis of every brand. It starts off as a business. It starts off as a personal brand. But you will know that Bill Gates is just a shareholder in Microsoft. Even if it was his vision, even if he was the person that started it, right now he's just a shareholder. He doesn't fully own that company. Okay, so Microsoft does not thrive on the personality of Bill Gates. This is why, even though Bill Gates was going through a divorce, it may have, actually it didn't, right? Maybe when the wife took out the money, yes, but Microsoft is still standing today because the business brand is identified by corporate governance. The structure of the business has moved from one individual to the collective minds of different entities with different strengths. Okay, and so these are the pillars of corporate governance: accountability, transparency, fairness, responsibility, and risk management. That's I need a whole session to just talk about this one, right? But that's what a business brand is. So whether Bill Gates gets divorced, even if Bill Gates dies, you know what's going to happen? Microsoft will outlive him. It will keep going on and on and on and on and on and on. Whereas personal brands that have not created structures to move from just being about the individual to actually being about the business. They haven't created any form of structure where they've even turned the name of that individual into a business where it's just about the individual alone. They crash. They crash. I hope I'm not losing you. I hope I'm really guiding you, because I want you to become practical in your next steps. And we're gonna get to that. I think I have 5 more minutes. All right. Because some of you are like, what do I do now? But first, I need you to have this understanding of these two things. So there are some of you in here who are going to start off from building personal brands because of your skill set, because of your gift, because of your talent, or whatever it is that you have. But then there are some of you that need to start off building straight from the ground, like Bill Gates. The moment he had the dream for Microsoft, even Mark Zuckerberg, The moment he had, I watched the movie called The Social Network. The moment he had the dream for Facebook, he called his friends and said, guys, this is what I want to do. And right from onset, the company started. So you might not Mark Zuckerberg, but do you know there's co-founders? And that's what a business brand really is. Okay, I hope I'm not losing you. All right, but let's go on. Okay, so a personal brand is a business brand that thrives on the identity of an individual, whereas a business brand in this context is a business that thrives on corporate governance. So there are certain things that you've identified. Even if you're a founder, you know that I can't do this alone. I might be the one who dreamt of it. I had a revelation of it from God, and the business idea was all yours. You know that as long as you want to do it alone, it's not going to go anywhere. And that's where a lot of Africans struggle. We want to be the alpha and omega of our business, largely because we haven't yet learned to move from the hand-to-mouth syndrome. Okay. So we feel as though all the profits I must share with these people. you think as though it's too much and you want to keep everything to yourself. But you don't realize this. That's why you're not growing, because the idea you have is more than you. So you need to engage the corporate governance system where you have accountability, transparency, fairness, responsibility, and risk management if you're going to grow your brand. So the first month, the first 2 months, it was okay to do everything alone, run around alone, but you can't sustain that now. You got to upscale and quickly move. You got to understand what it means to have other directors, what it means to have board of directors, what it means to have shareholders, right? What it means to have employees. You got to understand that. Some of you are sitting on millions of dollars. Your idea is worth millions of dollars, but you want to carry the load on your own. Okay. Let me come down a little bit. So let's look at career perspectives. And these are things that we teach in career enhancement. So how do you handle branding with relation to career-oriented individuals? Because I think about 75% of you that are here, you've got jobs and you've got qualifications, you've got your degrees, and you've got all your masters and things like that. And so, excuse me, you think, okay, I've come for mentorship, but I just wanted someone to lean on and cry. I just wanted the Dr. Nelly just to cry and say, hey, my husband is a madman. Hey, okay, that's okay. You have your one-on-one session, okay? But there's something else we gotta help you understand, because this is what will take you out of that, okay? So now you start asking, but how do I handle my career with this whole branding thing that you're preaching to us, okay? Number one, as a career person, because your degree is yours and your qualifications are yours, so automatically you know that you kickstart from the most likely place you are going to kickstart from is the personal brand sector. Okay, so question I have for you is, or the first pointer is your career development. Career development, because that's who you are. You've identified yourself there. So that's you're in the personal brand category. So number one, your career development. Are you becoming better on your job? Okay, because that also includes your personal branding. Because remember, it's about you. So since you're in your career space, are you becoming better at your job? Or are you the same way you were last year? From the time you got your degree till now, you have not upskilled in any way. No skill added to your job to make you better, to even say, I can be put up for promotion. Or you go to church every Sunday and you want hands laid on you, say, sow seed, pray, sow seed, lay hands so that I can get promoted. And because it's taking long and you're watching others go ahead of you, frustrations are coming in. And what you don't realize is those frustrations are what you're taking back home. And now it's affecting your marriage, affecting your children. You see how everything is interconnected about your life? So that's why you cannot separate what we bring to you just because you came with one angle of your life. There's an interconnection of everything. So what we do is, that's why we give you what we call career perspectives. So if you're in your career space now, for those of you with full-time jobs and the like, are you becoming better at your job? Right? Are you becoming better at your job? The other question I have for you is, what are you known for on your job? What are you known for? Are you known as the moody employee? Are you known as the gossiper? Are you known as the, should I say this? Okay, you gotta listen to Boardroom to Bedroom. Then you understand. So that's why tomorrow we have a Boardroom to Bedroom class, okay? So please don't miss. It's broken down better in there. So are you becoming better at your job? Because sometimes some people want to quit their job. It's not because their job is the problem. No, because first of all, that's a job you prayed for a long time. So changing jobs might not be the solution. You becoming better at your job might be the solution. You being known for anything else other than your negative attributes might be the solution. Why should you be the one that everyone complains about? When you come, everybody now has to become careful. Are you becoming better on your job? So in personal branding with relation to career perspectives, career development. Second point is career transition. I have a couple of questions for you again. What will you do if your company closed down today? What will you do with your life when you retire? Because your job is just, not could be, but is certainly just a platform for you. That's all your job is. It's a platform. You're not going to be there forever. Even if you won Employee of the Month 10 times out of 12 in a year, you're not going to be there forever. So you can't live as though that is your death, your birth and death place, just because you've got a good salary. Your company might close down. They might hire somebody who's upscaling. Worse off, if you're not even developing yourself in your career. They might hire somebody who will do a better job than you. And not even just that, with the way technology is going, I saw a picture on social media. I've seen it a couple of times now. You know, in the United States, they have, most news channels have got, they used to have helicopters, and they would have a cameraman moving around the city, taking note of whatever happening news, to catch the news, you know, because, you know, USA is very busy. It's a very busy place, too much activity, right? But then in less than 10 years, both the helicopter, what do you call the pilot of the helicopter, the cameraman, and the news guy have lost their jobs to a drone, because they use drones now. So they don't need to hire, first of all, they don't need to buy a helicopter. They don't need to hire a pilot. And they don't need to hire a news guy to ride the helicopter. Drones have taken over now. And let me tell you something, there is a whole lot more jobs that are being lost to machinery because of AI that's coming in. So you might even be, your boss might love you. Your love that you get from your boss might not be enough to keep you on the job with the way technology is going. So what skill have you identified that you can have that will be useful to mankind, even when that degree of yours is not useful? Maybe you had a degree in news reporting. Okay, now we're using drones. So what worth is your degree? With the advancement of knowledge now, some master degree programs that were useful 5 years ago are not useful anymore because technology is advancing very quickly. Some of the courses I did in my software engineering days, they are so useless now because we don't use the chips that are being used in computers now. We don't use most of the hardware systems. Just in a space of 10 years, all those things have become irrelevant. But now look, I identified my skill of talking now. So here I am. I can have a job to talk to you. I can have a job that's relevant. But you know, it came from identifying my skill. So beyond your qualification, what skill have you identified that is useful? That even after you retire will be useful? Because you're going to retire. So now someone says, no, I'll start working on it when I retire. My friend, the best time to start is now. The best time to start is now. You don't have the time. You got to start working on your brand now. Even if you're in a career space, can you move and say, all right, while I'm working here, everything I'm doing with social media, I can still provide it as maybe consultancy to people. I can open a Facebook page, unless you're working in government where it's not allowed because of conflict of interest. You can open a Facebook page and offer consultancy. All right, can I take a few extra minutes? This is my last slide. Or if maybe you have conflict of interest, this is where the issue of business development comes in. You can partner with people and say, guys, I've got this expertise, right? Form a company. I'll tell you what to do. And let's offer these services to the world out there. So that even when I retire from my company, my own company can hire me. I can become what I was doing in this company for someone else. I can do in my own company and still continue living. Make sense? So you gotta think like that. Start off maybe from consultancy. If you can't, open a company that's doing the same thing and just employ people. Get university graduates, create a structure, create a system, right? Partner, network, and do something. That's how you live on. And that's something that's birthed from you. The last one is business development. Whether personal or business brand, endeavor to make your brand more than just about you. That's the only way for it to outlive you. So the idea of branding, and I love this dropped in my spirit and I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. The idea of branding is to make generational impact and generational wealth. That's the idea of branding. It's to make generational impact and generational wealth. Are you going to have your children looking to go work for somebody else? Or you can create wealth within your own bloodline that your children can come and take over from there and continue building on until they go on and on and on and on. I was at Trade Kings a few months or so ago, and one of the co-founders died, and it's like the ones that have remained are quite old. But now the whole system is being run by their children, who also bring their children at the company to learn how to do things. Jews, Indians, Chinese, and white people have understood this principle. Black people, not so much. Our great-grandparents and grandparents understood it. That's why they would take us to the farms. My grandfather, my mom's side, used to take me to the farm to go farm maize with him. I never had I never interested at all because I was just focusing on school. But today I found myself trying to engage into farming business. And I'm thinking, oh, my grandfather was trying to teach me this. Why? Because you know what? Food will always be essential and necessary. So move from the hand-to-mouth system and start creating structures that require strengths that make up for your weakness. Even your job, you can be on your job and it's a hand-to-mouth system. Even your business, it can be a hand-to-mouth system. But move from that. So don't be afraid to step up and step out. Register your company, open your company bank account, invest in branding and marketing, create formidable systems, network and form partnerships. And that is how you build your brand. All right. That is how you build your brand. Awesome. I'm done. Thank you so much for staying on with me this long. Let me open up for 2 minutes of questions if I have any. Let me see the comments. If you are ready to build your brand, if you realize now you were the problem in the beginning, but now I want you to type in the chat section, I am the solution. I want you to type in the chat section, I am the solution. Regardless of every problem that you're thinking of, no matter how heavy it may be on your life, personal, financial, family, marital, country, continental, global, whatever problem it is, let me tell you something. You are the solution to that problem. You are the solution. Okay? You are the solution. If you listen to what I've said and we start following through, each one of us, let me tell you something. You are the solution. You are the solution. Okay? So start putting yourself together. You should be busy. There is no time to sit back and ask what's next in PLD Network when there's so much going on. You gotta be busy. Call to find out, post on the group, who can help me with Parker registration? Who can help me with tax clearance? Who can help me with ZPPA? All right, from there, all right, who's good with branding? Who's good with profiling? All right, great. Okay, who's good with networking? Who has a farm? I want to do this. I want to do this. I've got this connection. I've got this and that. That's the level we should be in now, ladies and gentlemen. That's the level we should be in now, right? And I need that from you, that fire from every one of you. Who's doing one? Okay, hey, Coach David, who can give me this? I need this, I need this, I need this. Once we get into that realm of being busy, there'll be no time for gossip, no time for complaints. You won't even be noticing your spouse who comes home at 02. You'll be like, you came at 02. Sorry, I was so busy. I was on a call with Coach David. We're planning this, and that. Or I was on a call with Coach Ann. You know, she's got some people in East Africa who want this. So we've been planning the whole night. But you know why that frustrates you? You are not busy. You are not busy. How will you be complaining about the lack of money when you're planning to make money? You can't. Say, I don't have money. No. You can't complain about the lack of money when you're planning to make money. All right. Can I have 2 questions before I call it the night? 2 questions. Anybody with a clarification, a question? Let me check out your reviews on the chat. Oh, just a compliment. Oh, thanks, Anita. All right. Yeah, so let's fly, ladies and gentlemen. So next week, I'll get into a bit more practical. I'll share a few more. I'll get into brand identity part 2. And now we'll talk about marketing strategies and creating structure, marketing strategies, and the whole branding in terms of logo design. I'll give you tips and things like that next week, Tuesday. So, but between now and then, please start building your brands, start getting into your Parker registrations and everything else. Come first week of July, we're going live on Facebook, brand presentation on Dr. Nelly's page, and we'll be streaming via StreamYard. It's going to be beautiful. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be, oh, Anita says, my 13-year-old daughter says you must coach her. Oh, thank you so much. I'm inspired. I've taken long to put together my youth program, but we should kickstart, all right? Once the older generation in this team rises up, you give me enough space to start with the young people. My mentor's been on me. Can you start with the youth? But I'm going to start now. So I will send you a link to add her to the youth group. It's still quiet for now, but we should be kicking off in July as well. That's my brand that I'm working on as well. So I'll send you a link for you to add her to the youth group. All right. But I am crying out to my team and my fellow mentees. Let's rise up. Let's get busy. All right. Let's get busy. All right. So God bless you. See you next week. Same time. We get to look at marketing strategies, structure creation, and the actual practical side of branding. All right. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. God bless you. All right. Mtali says getting ready, getting on that profile and photo shoot for the personal brand and the bank account for the business brand this week. Awesome. Great. We now have many people that do profiling now. I have my amazing coach Thompson. He's doing a wonderful job. So for more personal brands, I'm actually relaying them to him. I'm taking on the business side. So I do an amazing job with business brands. Personal profiles, please get in touch with Coach Thompson. Capoto, he's fantastic. He's doing great. He's the IT tech specialist and branding guy now. So for personal brands, he's the man to see. Then business brands, get in touch with your coach, Coach David. All right, good night. God bless you. Have a wonderful night.